Hey, I want to do a quick video on what is a cheap knife and what is an inexpensive knife. These two knives right here, they're both made in China, and this one is a one that you can pick up for about, I don't know, 10-15 bucks at, you know, like your local sporting goods store. At a glance, they're about the same size, and this is a Enlan EL-01A. They're about the same size. They kind of serve the same utility, similar blade shape. They're both flippers. So on the surface, they seem to be comparable, but in reality, one of them is a cheap one and one of them is an expensive one. And those are just the distinctions of, I mean, those are semantics, right? Distinctions of what you get for your money. For the same price, you can have either one of these. Which one would you pick? My pick is the Enlan. Not only is this beefier and heavier, which doesn't necessarily make it better, but in this case it does, because it's a large folder and it's going to give it more strength, and I'm okay with the extra weight. I'll give you some close-ups of the differences. You can see the blade stock is a lot thicker. And the stainless steel liners are a lot thicker as well, jimping in various places. And also, you can see that there is an extra standoff in the Enlan right there in the middle, so it doesn't compress. Whereas this one, when I squeeze it, you can see that the scale in the liner compresses. That's not good. This is much better G10 scale than this one. This one feels really slippery, whereas this one has good traction. One of the big differences that I see is the size of the liners. This Smith & Wesson has just a puny little liner versus this humongous liner on the Enlan, which is going to make this blade last a lot longer and much stronger of a lock. Another example is the clip. This one has been used a lot more. I've had this for a long time before I started collecting knives seriously. One really disadvantage, one real downside of this Smith & Wesson is that it doesn't retain the blade really well in the close position. So I've had this thing just flop out on me, right? I'm not using the flipper, I'm not using anything, I'm just kind of flicking it. Let's see. Flicking it with my wrists, and it's coming loose. So imagine something like this coming loose in your pocket and you reach in to grab it. That is bad news. Whereas this one, the Enlan, I mean, it's in there, the positive retention. I mean, that's in there really good. Although it still comes out quickly when you deploy it with the flipper. And one last thing, just the hardware that's used. A lot bigger screws. All the way around. And just by messing around with this for a few seconds, I noticed that one of the screws in the Smith & Wesson had come loose. And if you take a closer look, they did not even use thread locker to keep these in there. So over time, it's just going to work its way out. So that's my take on what is a cheap knife, which is that one, and what is an inexpensive knife, this one right here, for the same price. What's your choice?